Hello and welcome back to Gregory's vlog. Today I will be talking about my granddad, because on the last one I got a couple of things wrong. So here goes. Right, he was born in March 1937 and he served in the military police. He did his national service for 2 years and he served in Cyprus and Tripoli. And then once he'd finished that, he went to work at Doughty's in 1960. And that's how Granny, so my dad's mum, met him there. And yeah, and then he also, in the same year, he married Grandma, who was my mum's mum, in the same year. And they moved into a place called Snowdon Gardens in Churchdown, where they lived for their whole married life. And then also they started the North Gloss Motorcycle Club in 1970, and it's still going to this day. And when he first started it, he was the starter, so he did the green flag and the checkered flag and all that to start and end the race. And then he went to entries, so we checked people in and did entries and everything. And then he was in the office, so he called out the riders for the races and sent them out on the grid. Yeah. And then also he had a Triumph 3TA, which is a beautiful bike, lovely bike. Dad bought it off him when because he didn't ride it so for a long time. Yeah. So that's a little bit about him. Now the things I know about him. Well, I'd say Christmas, he used to get me and my sister, he used to buy us Haribo in big round boxes, and lovely. And one year he bought, primarily me, but my sister as well, a PlayStation 2, which I absolutely loved. And I was sad to see it go when we got rid of it, and when I got my PlayStation 3. And every year when we were a child, they used to take us to Western. Before we had our own tents, which I think Mum and Dad bought us, we used to sleep in their caravan, because they used to sleep at one end, there were 2 beds on another end, and I used to sleep on the top, Gemma used to sleep on the bottom, and we always used to get told off because we were giggling to each other, we were talking to each other, we were giggling. It was very funny indeed. And but yeah, I had some very memorable times with them. Went to Western Beach every year, and that was fantastic. One year it was so hot, it was packed. And yeah, we got an ice cream that one year, and I've got a picture. Got a picture up on my shelf up there of my sister doing stalagmites from digging down into sand and getting this slush, which my granddad helped with as well. And we built loads of sandcastles and everything. And the one best thing that I did is when I was there, I used to make tracks. I used to make tracks and then start running around them. So I'd make a really random track and then I'd start running about and all that. So yeah, and it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. There's one other thing which I forgot to mention about when they started the club, the North Gloss Motorcycle Club. Well, basically, They used to use airfields as tracks, and some of the time I'd not when I was younger, but when I grew a little bit older, I used to help put the stakes out, and that we used to go down a little bit earlier and help with that. Our local one was Keyville, which is just the other side of Melksham. It's not that far from Melksham at all. So it's halfway between Melksham and Trowbridge, round there. And I remember as well, that's where I learnt to ride my bike without stabilizers. That's a good memory to have. My granddad and my dad taught me how to ride a bike without stabilizers when I grew a little bit older, and it was brilliant. And couple of years, I think it was a couple of years, I don't know, I can't remember. But one year, I went to a place called Chivenor, down in Devon, or Cornwall, wherever it is, I can't remember. And we stayed in a campsite just across away from this abandoned airfield. And on the Friday, we helped out, me and Grampy, we got all the stakes out and everything, because I was a little bit older then, and I think I was off on I think I was off from work or somewhere, I can't remember, but yeah, it was brilliant, thoroughly enjoyed it. And then on that Saturday, because it was practice after that, we went to the beach, and it was absolutely packed. And I remember I was doing the long jump, and I put markers out to where everything is, like 5 meters, 6 meters, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And I loved it. And this random woman, came up and said, "Greg," and so, "Miss Taylor, my support teacher was there, and she noticed me," which was good. And we used to play quite a few games and all that, and yeah. I also had a bodyboard which I used to. Sorry about that, guys. Where was I? Oh yes, they bought me a bodyboard where I still got it in my cupboard actually, and it's really really good. I used to use it every single time I went down to the beach, but now I don't tend to use it because I'm always working and doing other stuff. And yeah, I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. The time with Grandma and Grampy, and going to race meetings, helping them out. Oh yeah, and one funny story was, one guy bought me 2 pies. As will your grandson be hungry? Does he want these 2 pies? Cornish pasties? Oh yeah, I was, and I also had another one. I had 3 when I went down to Chivenor. It was brilliant. And then in the evening we had fish and chips and battered sausage and chips. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very nice indeed. I have some very, very good memories with my grandparents, especially my Grampy, because what he did when he started the club was absolutely brilliant. And we thank him for starting that, and all good, yeah. So that's my granddad's life. Hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I will catch you in the next one very soon. Bye for now.